All right, welcome. Today, we're going to be building a blueprint, and it's for something that's absolutely crucial for a successful career in construction: mentorship.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We plan our projects down to the tiniest detail, right? Schedules, materials, the whole 9 yards. But how often do we really apply that same kind of rigor to our own careers? It's something we often overlook, and that's exactly where mentorship comes in. It is such a critical tool for building a deliberate, successful career path.
So here's our plan. We'll start with the overall blueprint. Then we'll construct 3 core pillars. First, defining what a mentor really is. Second, how you actually find one. And third, what all this means for the experienced leaders out there. Then we'll wrap it all up by taking a look at how this whole thing shores up the entire industry.
Okay, let's get right into it. The mentorship blueprint. We all kind of know mentorship is important, but it's often this vague, fuzzy concept. These pillars we're about to talk about, they're going to give us a really clear framework to build upon.
All right, first things first, let's pour the foundation for Pillar I. We've got to establish exactly what we mean when we use the word mentor, because you know what? It's probably a lot more specific than you think.
The definition itself is pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. A mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor. And I want you to really focus on those 2 words, experienced and trusted. They are the absolute core of this role. It's all about providing that high-level strategic guidance.
And it's really important to get this distinction right. A mentor is not a coach. A coach? They give you tactical, step-by-step instructions for a specific problem. Do this, then do that. A mentor, though, they're providing the 30,000-foot view. They're helping you with the why, not just the how. Think of it this way. They help you plan the entire journey. They're not there to give you turn-by-turn directions.
So that brings us to the first core quality: relevant experience. This is non-negotiable. This person has walked a similar path to the one you are on. They've seen the kind of challenges you're facing, and they can offer some real perspective. And this isn't about micromanagement, not at all. It's about gaining wisdom from someone who has literally been there and done that.
And that second quality is just as important: impartial trust. Ideally, your mentor is not your direct supervisor. Why? Because you need a safe, impartial third party, someone you can have truly candid conversations with. You can talk about team challenges, big career moves, maybe stuff you just wouldn't feel comfortable discussing with your direct manager. Without that trust, that psychological safety, the whole relationship, it just doesn't work.
Okay, so now that we have a really solid definition of what a mentor is and isn't, let's move on to Pillar 2. Let's talk about the search. How do you actually find one?
Without this kind of guidance, a career path can often feel, fragmented, a bit all over the place. You're moving from one project to the next, one role to another, basically just reacting to whatever opportunities pop up. Sure, there's progress, but there might not be a clear, overarching plan holding it all together. And let's be real, most companies don't have these big, formal mentorship programs. So the responsibility, it really falls on you. But here's the thing. The best mentors often appear informally. It happens through networking, through mutual contacts, sometimes when you aren't even looking for it. The relationship doesn't have to be stamped and official to be incredibly valuable. The key is just to be open to it.
But then, with a mentor in your corner, that fragmented path starts to look integrated. The dots suddenly connect. Your career trajectory becomes more intentional, way more efficient, and ultimately more successful. You're not just reacting anymore, you're actively building with a plan.
All right, let's shift our focus for our third and final pillar, the legacy. And if you're an experienced professional, someone who's been around the block a few times, listen up, because this part is for you. Mentorship isn't just about receiving guidance. It's a fundamental part of leadership. It's a responsibility, but it's also a really powerful opportunity.
I want you to just take a moment and really reflect on this question. Think back on your own career, the mistakes you made, the lessons you had to learn the hard way. Now imagine, how much time and effort could you have saved if you had someone guiding you along the way? How much value could you now provide to someone who's just starting down that very same path? See, being a mentor, it's not a burden, it's a legacy. It's an incredibly high-impact way to give back. You're not just helping one person, you're strengthening the entire industry's culture and helping us keep our best talent. And you know what the best part is? It often requires a surprisingly small investment of your time to make a truly massive difference.
Okay, so we've built our 3 pillars. We know what a mentor is, how to find one, and why it's so important for leaders to become one. Now let's zoom out and look at the big picture. How do all these individual relationships scale up to create a stronger, more connected industry for absolutely everyone?
Well, every single one of these mentorship connections acts like a bridge. It's a bridge between the fields and the office, a bridge between generations, a bridge between different disciplines. And each one of those connections helps build a stronger foundation for the entire construction sector. It improves communication, it strengthens the culture, and it boosts our overall efficiency.
Ultimately, that's what mentorship is all about. It's about creating these strong connections, kind of like a perfectly crafted dovetail joint. It's what holds our industry together and keeps pushing it forward. So when we invest in these relationships, we're not just building our own careers, we're building a stronger, more resilient construction industry for everyone. And in our next chapter, we're going to explore exactly how to engage that network to get the best results.